Hi there. Welcome to another video. What I should have done, now that I've started making this video, I should have got some pictures off the internet and showed you pictures of the stupid fool footballers going on one knee supporting this Black Lives Matter movement. I watched a video earlier today, and I think might have been yesterday, someone sent it to me on Facebook, and it's a woman in a shop, a black woman. She can't get any food for her baby because the Black Lives Matter gangs went in and trashed the shop. And this is the Black Lives Matter movement, you see. These people beat people up, they trash shops, and you can see what the game is. You know, the game is to have the people demanding the military be put into this, taken into this, and then you'll have martial law. You see, everything comes from the top. Everything comes from the top. You know, it was even caught on camera that police in America left a truck for lorries for the protesters to get. So it was all organised, you see. Everything comes from the top. And the sheeple run towards whatever's been put there for them. But whatever's been put there for the sheeple is basically, they're always being led to the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse is where they've been taken to. Right? And that it's a game of divide and rule. You not notice how it shifted so quickly to this, right? From COVID, and that's because people were waking up regarding the COVID situation. My mum's in hospital every other day she's got kidney trouble, and she tells me what's going on in the hospitals regarding COVID-19, and it looks like there isn't any COVID-19, because she tells me that people are dying of cancer and they're just putting COVID on the death certificates when they die, because they're not giving them cancer treatment, and so they're killing them. The NHS are killing people, are murderers, and they have killed people. Depriving someone of treatment is murder. That's what it is. Why do you think a Conservative government would tell you to clap for the NHS? It's not because they're great people. It's because they were murdering people. People didn't die of COVID-19. At least doctors in America came out and admitted that they were pressured into putting COVID on. That's not all doctors. I did see one nurse on YouTube, and she came out and said stuff against it. And so credit to that woman and credit to that NHS worker. But back to this Black Lives Matter movement. You know, the game is divide and rule, and Black Lives Matter movement is basically a cult, a violent cult that beat peaceful protesters up. The whole thing is about getting you on your knees, just like you are. On your knees. I mean, I've never taken a knee for someone in my life. And I'm not going to start now, right? And I'm very glad to see on the internet, I was looking on the internet earlier, and people are actually waking up regarding this Black Lives Matter movement, and they're seeing that it's a cult. And same with the COVID-19. The wheels are falling off the system, you see. That's why they have to do all this crazy stuff. Everything comes from the top. I should have put the Illuminati symbol up here because at the start of this video, because that would be appropriate, because I do that in some of my videos, because reality is like that. Everything comes from the top of a pyramid. It's like a tiny few, and they control the finance, the banks, the core of everything. And it's true, when you look up these people, it really is true. That's how it's coordinated. And they play they play around with our minds through television, through films, through actors, through music, frequencies in music. And then you get a reality that is disjointed. And what is doing it is a demonic force. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening under 10 years ago. And when I had this awakening, I started to pick up all this, everything. I could pick up everything. One of the things I could pick up was a demonic force that is ruling this world. And this demonic force is the thing that's doing this. And the reason it's doing this especially now is because there's a global spiritual awakening happening on the planet, you see. And that's what it's terrified of, because demonic force, demonic energy feeds off of fear and disjointedness, disharmony. Love kills this force, and because what's happening on the planet is everything's returning to the creator, which is just love. And everything's returning to that. But back to the Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter movement is a violent gang. It's just a violent cult, violent gang that beat people up, trash shops, and that's what they are. And, you know, they have it in their head, let's defund the police, yes, and then you're going to have the military coming in, you stupid fools. And then they will, you know... I watched this, as a guy I watch on YouTube called Barry Trower. He's a microwave weapons expert, retired, I think, from the military. And he said there's a frequency in the military that's beyond 5G, just slightly beyond it, and it can bring people, it brings people to their knees. That's what's going to happen here. They'll bring the army in, and then these people really will be on their knees then. They will be taking a knee then, once that happens. And it's exactly the plan. The plan is to bring in... David Icke predicted it 30 years ago. He's predicted for 30 years ago all this. I mean, that's why he's thriving just now. That's why David Icke just now is thriving so much. People are saying to him, you know, he was right, and that's why people want to hear him. That's why the talk that he did with London Real, like for the past couple of shows they've done, it's been like the biggest live stream of all time in the world. And that's because people want to listen to David Icke now, because he's been so accurate, you see. At the start, he said a few things that were silly, but that's because he was going through a spiritual awakening. I know what that's like. And when you're going through that, you're changing into this new person. It's a bit like the film The Crow with Brandon Lee. You know, when I haven't seen the film, but I've seen little bits of it. I probably wouldn't watch it all. But you know, you die in awakening, you die and you're transforming into something else. And, you know, in that first interview with David Icke on Terry Wogan's show, he was going through his awakening. So he said some silly things, but ever since then he's been very right. And he said that this would happen, and he also mentioned the martial law thing as well. But that's... This Black Lives Matter movement is a cult to get... It's all about getting you on your knees. It's the whole thing just now that's going on the planet is the system is trying to shame people with the masks, with the Black Lives Matter, getting you to go on your knees, be ashamed. Oh, I'm white, I'm such a terrible person. No, you're not white. You know, we are all one love, basically. One infinite eternity of love. And our bodies are just vehicles to experience the life. And this is the game. This game, when the system plays the game of divide and rule, you know they're losing. And that's what they're playing now. And you notice how they shifted the attention from the COVID to this, right? And that was on purpose, because people were waking up with that. So they had to switch. They had to play a game of divide and rule, and that's what's going on. Because of the fact there's a global awakening. What's controlling the 1% is a demonic force beyond them. Because this demonic force has, you know, if through a global spiritual awakening, this kills this kind of energy. Love kills demonic energy. That's why when you see a demonic film and they show the demon the cross, the demon runs away. It's not because of Jesus. It's because of the love that Jesus represents that the demon will run. And what we're seeing here, I said it in my videos ages ago. I said that this is an exorcism, this global spiritual awakening. And you're going to see a reaction. What do you always see in these demonic movies? You always see when the priest guy does a exorcism, you always see the demon responding and going crazy, and that's what we're seeing. And so you've just got to not buy into it, buy into the little game. Understand, see that what we're actually seeing is fear. What we're seeing is disjointedness and fear, because of what the system wants to create, because of a fear of a spiritual awakening from the system. But just before I end, this Black Lives Matter movement, go and look for yourself. Go and watch Fox News. I watch Fox News. You can't trust most mainstream channels, but you can trust Tucker Carlson and Fox News. And Laura Ingraham actually is very good as well on there. And they really expose this Black Lives Matter, and they show pictures, real images of what's really happening. Don't watch BBC News, don't watch Sky News, they're all corrupt. But Fox News, I don't agree with everything they say, but they ask some real questions, and they say the things that need to be said and ask the things that need to be asked. And that is the job of a television news programme. That's what they're meant to be doing. They're not meant to push this brainwashing that the BBC try to do. I won't even tolerate the BBC. But I'm just going to leave it there. I think I'll probably do a video later on. Later on I'm going to do another video. And if you want to check my latest updates, videos, I've got a website, and that website is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you for watching and listening.